Dear students, welcome. This is the second presentation in which we are covering electricity, one of the most interesting and relevant topic for physics class 10th CBSE and RBSE. Now in this presentation we are going to touch the historical perspective for the discovery of electricity, and then we are going to discuss about the characteristics of electric charges, because electric charges are the ones which constitute electricity. So let us start this presentation. Now electricity, when it was discovered, who gave or who coined the term electricity, no one knows. The word electricity is believed to be derived from the Greek word electron. Now electron means ember in Greek. So what is ember? Ember is a fossilized tree resin, right? Now even before the birth of Christ, people knew of the phenomenon that when ember is rubbed, it attracts small pieces of straw. So this phenomenon as such of charging objects by rubbing or friction was known before the birth of Christ also. Then in the 16th century in England, Sir William Gilbert found out that other substances besides ember can also be charged or electrified. For example, he conducted experiment and he found out that glass rod, when rubbed with silk cloth or ebonite stick with fur, they get charged. And he did extensive research in magnetism and electricity, and sometimes he is known as the father of electricity, right? Then in the 18th century, the French scientist Charles Francois Dufay discovered the existence of two types of electricity or charges. He noted the difference between the conductors and insulators, and also found out that like charges repel and unlike charges attracted each other. In the 18th century, the famous American scientist, the name was Benjamin Franklin, gave the name positive and the negative to the two types of charges which were discovered by Charles Francois, right? And he also conducted the famous silk kite experiment, which was the first public demonstration that confirmed that electricity can be conducted. This is the pictorial depiction of the historical silk kite experiment, in which on a thunderstorm day he flew a silk kite with a silk thread, and when there was rain, the silk thread became wet with the silk water, and when it was struck with lightning, the lightning came through the wet silk thread, and at the end of the silk thread there was a metallic key, and the metallic key, there were sparks which came out with the metallic key. So this was the first public demonstration that confirmed that electricity can be conducted. Now what is known as the positive charge? What is a positive charge? It is the charge on glass rod when it is rubbed with silk cloth, and similarly negative charge is the charge on ebonite stick when it is rubbed with fur. Now when we have touched with the historical perspective, now let us come to the main. So what is electricity? Electricity basically consists of electrical charges, and now we know that there are two types of electrical charges, positive and negative, right? So let us define what are electrical charges. Electrical charges are fundamental property of matter like mass, by virtue of which it experiences or produces force when placed in an electric or magnetic field. That means charges are fundamental property, physical property of matter like mass and volume, and because of these electric charges, when a charged object is placed in an electric or magnetic field, it either produces or experiences force. So this is the definition which you will not find in it in the 10th class textbook, but it is very important from the point of view of competitive exams. So you have to understand it and by heart it, right? So the charges, and there are two types of charges, positive charges and negative charge. Now what are the characteristics of electric charges? So there are 4-5 major characteristics of electric charges, and we have to understand these characteristics of electric charges. So let us understand these. Like charges repel and unlike charges attract each other. right? So like charges, if there are two positive charge, then there will be a force of repulsion between these charges. Similarly, if there are two negative charges, then once again there will be force of repulsion between these charges. But if there are two unlike charges, one positive and one negative charge, then there will be force of attraction. Now what would be the magnitude of force of attraction or repulsion is given by a law which we are going to discuss in next slide, right? The magnitude of force of attraction or repulsion between the charged object or charges is given by a law which is known as Coulomb's law, right? If there are 2 point charges q1 and q2 and r is the distance between them, then the force or the electrostatic force between them is given by Coulomb's law. Now what is Coulomb's law? The electric force acting on a point charge q as a result of the presence of a second charge q2 is given by Coulomb's law, which says that the force is directly proportional to the product of the two charges, magnitude of the product, that is the product of the magnitude of the two charges q1 q2, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them, right? And if we combine these two equations, we come to this: F is proportional to q1 q2 upon r square. And when we remove the sign of the proportionality, there is a constant of proportionality which comes into place. So F, that is the force between the charged object, is equal to K q1 q2 upon r square, where K is Coulomb's constant and K is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon. What is epsilon? Epsilon is permittivity of space. So basically it depends on the medium. Right? So F equals to q1 q2 upon 4 pi epsilon r square. This is known as Coulomb's law, right? So let us come to the third characteristic of electric charges. Electric charges are additive. That means the entire electric charge on an object is equal to the algebraic sum of all the electric charges located in or on that object. For example, if there are 3 positive and 2 negative charges on an object, then the net charge q will be equal to plus 3. That means 3 positive and addition of 2 negative. So plus 3 plus bracket minus 2. That means if we take care of the sign convention, plus 3 minus 2. So the net charge on that object is plus 1. That means plus 1 in positive Coulomb, because Coulomb is the SI unit of charge. So charges are additive in nature. So if there are 3 charges q1 q2 q3, the net charge q will be equal to the algebraic sum of charges, keeping in mind the sign convention. The fourth is charges are conserved. That means charges can neither be created nor destroyed. They can only be transferred from one atom to other, from one object to other, right? So let us see what this statement means. This statement means that all the atoms in their ground state, in their lowest energy state, are neutral, as they have equal number of negative charges which are on electrons and protons which have positive charge. That means in an atom in its ground state, it has equal number of electrons and protons. That means the total positive charge is equal to the total negative charge, and therefore an atom is neutral, right? The charges get transferred by gain or loss of electrons. So if an atom, neutral atom, loses one or more electron, it becomes a positively charged cation. If it gains one or more electron, it gets negative charge, right? But normally in ground state it is neutral, right? So if an object loses electrons, it gets positively charged. If an object gains electron or electrons, it gets negatively charged, but the total charge always remains same, right? Because the charge do not get destroyed, they can only be transferred. They get transferred from one atom to other, from one molecule to another, but they do not get destroyed. So the total charge always remains. So this is the charges are conserved. So next characteristic of electric charges are quantized. That means the charge on an object is always a multiple of elementary charge, a discrete, a quantum of charge, right? So q equals to Ne. Q is the total charge, N is an integer, and E is the elementary charge. That means the total charge on an object is always equal to an integral multiple of the elementary charge. The total charge on an object is an integral multiple of the smallest quantum of charge. This smallest quantum of charge is known as the elementary charge E, which is equal to 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb. There cannot be any charge which is smaller than this charge, because this is the charge which is present on one electron or one proton. This charge is known as the elementary charge, right? So n is an integer which can either be in negative or positive, but cannot be in points, cannot be in fraction, right? So n is an integer. E is E minus, that is the charge on one electron is minus 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb, and on proton the charge amount is same but the polarity is in positive, so it is plus 1.6 into 10 raised to the power minus 19 coulomb, right? So quantization of charge, that means charge can either be one electron, one elementary, two elementary, three elementary, right? It cannot be 1.5, 1.25, 0.5, right? It would be an integral multiple of the smallest charge, and this smallest charge is the elementary charge, right? So the SI unit of electric charge is coulomb. It is represented by C in the honor of the famous scientist Charles Augustin de Coulomb. The electric charges are represented by either a small q or this capital Q. Electric charges are not continuous, but they are quantized, they are in discrete amount, right? So the total charge Q is always an integral multiple of the elementary charge. For example, if we want to find out the number of electrons constituting 1 coulomb of charge, then the total charge is 1 coulomb, the elementary charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb, right? So we have to find the number of electrons carrying 1 coulomb of charge. So n equals to Q, total charge, upon the elementary charge. Putting the values of Q and E, n equals to 1, that is 1 coulomb upon the elementary charge, and this number of electrons comes to 6.25 into 10 to the power 18 electrons. So that means these number of electrons will be needed to constitute 1 coulomb of charge, or to carry 1 coulomb of charge. So I hope that you have understood the characteristics of electric charges. It is very important to understand about electric charges, because these charges will ultimately constitute electricity, right? So I have understood this presentation, and in the next presentation we are going to start the different types of electricity, the electrostatics and the electrodynamics. Electrostatics, in which the charges are localized, that means the charges are at rest, and electrodynamics, the current electricity, in which the charges are in continuous motion. Thank you very much.